I almost gave up. I've tried Canada, I've tried the UK, I've tried Sweden, I've tried Australia, but it's kind of, it's not working. One morning he called me.
So who called you? Fred called you?
Yeah, Fred called me. The Fred effect.
Okay. How did you now end up in US?
This is the story. I was at the passport office and I met this guy, Fred, the Fred effect. Okay. I believe you know.
Okay.
Him. Yeah, we all.
Yeah. I'm good friend.
Fred,
yeah, the Fred effect.
And Fred was my mate back in UCC, but we were not that close. We go to classes. Yeah, so we did economics, most of the classes together from level 100 to 400. So I met him there. We had some few conversations and we exchanged contacts. And he told me his plans, where he wants to go, what he's doing. I was like, okay, that's a good thing. I'm also doing the same thing. But when you meet people for the first time, you don't want to share everything. But he was open. Like, he was like, Charlie, this is what I want to do. And I need my passport as soon as possible. And I was like, yeah, I'm here for the same reason. And I was like, oh, I got some schools from the UK. I'm waiting for funding. They will give me 5,000 out of like, huge amount that, 37,000 that you pay. Then he was like, yeah, he prays that we all get. So I was failing from 2018, 2019, 2020 to 2022. And I gave up because I was pushing for Ghana Water Company to, employ me fully. So I almost gave up because recently I was even checking some payments that I made to some schools I apply in Canada and Sweden, Australia, and those things. And back then, when I first came to US, I checked those things, and it was more than 5,000 Ghana cedis from 2018 to 2022. So one morning he called me. Then he was like,
"So who called you? Fred called you?"
Yeah, Fred called me.
All right. So back then, was he already in the US? Or
yes, he was already in the US studying.
Okay, great. So shout out to Fred. All right, continue. So he called you one morning and...
Yeah, he called me one fateful morning. I've forgotten the date, but it was 2022, I think, January thereabout. And I was like, early in the morning, around, I think, 4:35 there. I was like, this is a strange line. Then I was like, okay, let me pick. So we called him, was like, yo, certainty, what's up? And I was like, yo, Charlie, I did. And he was like, where you did? And I was like, oh, I'm in Ghana. I was like, so passport, I'll call you. What are you doing with your passport? And I was like, what is not Ghana? I was like, Charlie, I've tried I've tried Canada, I've tried UK, I've tried Sweden, I've tried Australia, but it's kind of, it's not working. They was like, what, have you tried the US? And I was like, nah, I haven't tried the US. Because you see, at the back of my mind, my dream country is Canada and I want to go to Canada. So any advice anybody gives me, I'm not listening. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to explore other areas. Then he was like, oh, what do you want to do? And I told him I want to have some skill set in, the geography sector. Most of geography there in US there, Charlie, funding baby, a lot of funding. So why don't you try USA? Then he was like, oh, he knows even his school day, he knows some geography students and he can link me to them. He has some other schools and he did the research and sent me a lot of schools. I was like, who is this guy? Back in UCC, we were not that close, but he was able to call me. He was able to, kind of motivate me in a way. So fast forward, he gave me some links and some schools to, go and watch his videos. I think by then he just started. So I watched his videos. In fact, that Friday or Saturday morning, I watched his videos, like all the videos that he posted. I watched everything and I got some insight. So quickly, I think I reached out back to Webebu again. And I was like, oh, Charlie, Bonyo, what's up? I want to do this time for the last time. It was like, yeah, you can try this. And but then he was also in the state. So I think I started doing some researches and things. So it was that fateful 2022 January that I applied again. And I searched for the schools. I searched I think more than 10 schools. And I wanted to do some in international studies or something. I also wanted to do sustainability, something environmental. So a couple of them mixture, because I'm from economics and geography background, I wanted to explore all. And my geography, I said, if I want to do geography, I want to do GIS. So I applied for a couple of different schools, both GIS and geography.
That's great. So shout out to Fred, the Fred effect, because if today you are living in your dreams, then I'm sure it was because of that call that came through Fred. That guy, what are you doing with the passport in Ghana? You have done a passport, which is like, I think those times the passport was for like 5 years or so, and you've done the passport, or maybe you got a 10 years one, and you are still sitting down with it, guys. So this is an advice to everyone watching us. If you have not done your passport, then go and get your passport, because you don't know when an opportunity will come.